Imagine spending 15 years building a company, hiring employees, serving customers, publishing thousands of articles, slowly earning Google's trust until your website becomes one of the most respected sources in your industry. Then, the business collapses, the office closes, employees leave, the servers go offline. A few months later, an automated email arrives. Your domain expires in 7 days. Nobody notices. 7 days pass. 30 more. The company disappears forever. To almost everyone, that's the end of the story. But somewhere else, someone has been waiting for that exact moment. Not a customer, not a competitor, an investor. Because they don't want the business, they want its domain. A tiny piece of internet real estate that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Today, we're uncovering the hidden industry that quietly buys the internet's abandoned property and how forgotten websites become million-dollar assets. When people hear the word foreclosure, they think of houses, banks, auction signs. But every day, another type of foreclosure happens online. Thousands of businesses disappear from the internet every month. Some go bankrupt. Some merge with larger companies. Others simply forget to renew their domain. Once that happens, years of digital history are left behind. To most people, an expired website looks worthless. The pages no longer load. The business is gone. It feels like digital trash. But to a small group of investors, it's prime digital real estate. Because the website may be gone, but something incredibly valuable often remains: its reputation. Imagine launching a brand new website today. You publish amazing articles, beautiful design, useful information, yet almost nobody visits. Not because your content is bad, because Google doesn't know who you are. Search engines reward trust, and trust takes years to build. Now imagine another website, one that's been online for 15 years. Over that time, news organizations linked to it, universities referenced it, thousands of blogs recommended it. Each of those links tells Google one thing: this website can be trusted. SEO professionals call this link equity. Think of it as digital reputation. The business might disappear, but those recommendations don't. Thousands of websites across the internet still point to that same domain, which means the company's reputation survives even after the company itself doesn't. And that's exactly what investors are buying. Not the business, not the logo, trust. Buying an expired domain isn't as simple as waiting for it to disappear. Every domain follows a strict timeline. When the owner forgets to renew it, they first get several chances to recover it. Even if the website goes offline, the owner can usually reclaim the domain. But eventually, those rights expire. The domain enters its final stage: pending delete. For 5 days, nobody owns it. Nobody can renew it. Everyone simply waits until one exact second: the drop. The moment the domain becomes available again. And that's when the real competition starts. If you tried buying a valuable expired domain yourself, you'd probably lose. Not because you're too slow, because you're competing against machines. Professional investors use automated systems known as drop catchers. The instant a valuable domain is released, their servers fire thousands of registration requests every second. The winner isn't the person clicking fastest, it's the company with the fastest infrastructure. Sometimes hundreds of investors want the same domain. When that happens, it doesn't go to whoever clicked first, it goes into a private auction. A domain that originally cost just $12 a year can suddenly sell for $20,000, $50,000, or even more. Not because of its design, not because of its name, because of something invisible: years of trust. Winning an expired domain is only the beginning. Now comes the real question: how does an abandoned website become a profitable business again? The answer is surprisingly simple. These investors aren't buying websites, they're buying trust. Trust that took someone else years to build. And once they own that trust, they have several ways to turn it into money. Imagine you own a company that sells fitness equipment. Your website is new. It's still trying to earn Google's trust. Then you discover an old health magazine that recently shut down. For 15 years, that magazine earned backlinks from hospitals, universities, and major publications. Its domain expires. You buy it. Instead of rebuilding the old website, you permanently redirect it to your own. In theory, some of the authority from the old domain may help your existing site, especially if the topics are closely related. But there's a catch. Search engines have become much better at detecting manipulative redirects. A redirect only works well when there's a genuine connection between the old website and the new one. Otherwise, Google may ignore much of its value. The easy shortcuts that worked a decade ago don't work as reliably today. Not every investor redirects an expired domain. Some rebuild it. And this is where artificial intelligence has changed the industry. When a website disappears, it often leaves behind a digital footprint. Services like the Internet Archive preserve snapshots of millions of websites. Investors study those archives to understand what the original site looked like, what topics it covered, and which pages attracted the most visitors. Years ago, rebuilding a website meant hiring designers, developers, and writers. Today, AI can draft articles, generate code, and help recreate entire websites in a fraction of the time. A site that vanished years ago can be online again within days. Sometimes it earns money through display ads, sometimes through affiliate marketing, sometimes it promotes the owner's own products or services. To many visitors, it looks like the original website never disappeared, but behind the scenes, it's under completely new ownership. Some investors don't rebuild websites at all. They simply buy valuable domains and wait. Just like someone purchasing land in a growing city, they believe the domain will become more valuable over time. A business might later want that exact name. An SEO agency might want its authority, or another investor might see even greater potential. So the domain is listed for sale. A domain purchased for a few $100s can later sell for several thousand, sometimes even tens of thousands. Not because anything changed about the domain itself, but because someone else now sees value in what everyone else overlooked. Most internet users never think about domain names. They type a web address, click a search result, and move on. Behind the scenes, an entire industry is buying, selling, and rebuilding pieces of the internet every single day. Some investors spend hours analyzing traffic history, backlink profiles, brand recognition, search demand. They're not gambling. They're evaluating digital assets, just like someone buying commercial real estate. Because on today's internet, attention has become one of the most valuable commodities in the world. But here's the bigger question. If expired domains can be so valuable, does that mean anyone can make money doing this? Or has the industry already become too competitive? The answer is more complicated than you might think. By now, you might be thinking, why doesn't everyone do this? Because the truth is, most expired domains aren't valuable. Every day, hundreds of thousands of domains expire. Most have no traffic, no quality backlinks, no brand recognition. Some were abandoned because they were never useful. Others were penalized by search engines for spam or low-quality content. Buying an expired domain without researching it is like buying a building without checking what's inside. Professional investors don't buy domains based on instinct. They study years of data, traffic history, backlink quality, search rankings, past ownership. Even a domain with thousands of backlinks may be worthless if those links come from spam websites. The opportunities that make headlines are the exception, not the rule. Artificial intelligence has transformed this industry faster than almost anyone expected. Just a few years ago, restoring an old website required a team of developers, designers, and writers. Today, one person with the right AI tools can accomplish much of that work in days instead of weeks. AI can help write articles, generate code, organize content, analyze backlink profiles, even suggest which expired domains might have commercial value. That doesn't guarantee success. Search engines continue updating their algorithms to reward original, high-quality content and reduce the visibility of manipulative websites. But AI has lowered the costs of rebuilding legitimate websites. As a result, more investors are entering the market. Competition is growing, and finding truly valuable domains is becoming harder every year. Let's go back to where we started. A company spent 15 years building something. It earned customers, trust, recognition. Thousands of websites linked to it. Then, one day, the business disappeared. The office closed. The employees moved on. Most people assumed the story had ended. It hadn't. Someone else saw value where everyone else saw nothing. Not in the products, not in the employees, not even in the company itself. They saw value in its digital footprint, a simple web address, one that carried years of reputation. That's the real product being bought and sold, not websites. Attention. Because on today's internet, attention is one of the world's most valuable currencies. And wherever something valuable exists, a marketplace eventually forms around it. The next time you search Google or type a website into your browser, remember, every domain has a history. Some still belong to the companies that built them. Others belong to someone who arrived years later and recognized an opportunity everyone else missed. The internet may feel permanent, but behind every website is a lease that eventually expires. And sometimes, the most valuable businesses aren't the ones being built. They're the ones being quietly inherited. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe for more stories exploring the hidden systems behind money, technology, and power, because some of the world's biggest industries are the ones most people never notice.